Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Compliance Coach. Today we talk about why to create a YouTube channel on compliance. In the words of Simon Sinek, the more people you inspire, the more people will inspire you. That might be a good reason to do it. So in this episode we will learn three things. Number one is why creating a YouTube channel on compliance will create impact and what might be in for you. Number two is what kind of content can you expect on this channel from a formal and content-wise perspective. And three is what's about the Eve effect and the factor. What is in there? Stay tuned on this channel to get that. My name is Ralph Ebert. I'm the Compliance Coach, 20 years of experience in the banking sector, in global leading roles, in compliance. I'm here to guide you, give you advice, personal insights and facts, thinking and impacting compliance differently. So the truth is that 5 years ago, I started having this idea in terms of bringing a fact-based, expert-related content to everybody who's interested into compliance. But I didn't have the courage. Now I started since 24 of doing it, and I don't regret one single second. However, some of my colleagues believe that I'm creating this kind of channel only to make my personal funny videos on this one. For instance, why is there always a Swiss banker in a James Bond film? Or on the other hand, how to create compliance leadership and leaders and why sportsmen is better for that. I leave it up to you to decide what is the truth. In truth, it was related to four elements: a question, a fact, a passion and an experience. What do I mean with that? For instance, a question. My today 17-year-old daughter asked me one day, "Papa, can you present in the school? What are you doing in your job?" And then suddenly she paused, looked at me and said, "Papa, by the way, what are you actually doing in compliance in the bank?" I think that was the first reminder in terms of not only my daughter, but a larger group of people would need that kind of content to get what is inside there. Second is the fact. When I then started to have a look in the internet on terms of compliance in banks, I got 1.7 billion hits in Google. Wow. When you look, however, in terms of a video content of what's out there, there's only a handful. And being honest, if you look really a little bit more deeper into it, you find a lot which is driven by providers, so commercially driven, to very often not adopted to the whole audience because it's very detailed on specific topics. Three, sometimes it's really not entertaining. Don't get me wrong. We come to that in a second. If you stay until the end, you will know what I mean. But I think content-wise, you want to get things across by entertaining as well people. That's very important to give the broader message and to make it visually clear what do you mean. So these elements were always lacking. And last but not least, it was about passion. Why? Because I'm really much driven of what I'm doing. And I think if you get up every day in the best case like Jay Shetty, completely with purpose and mindfulness to go to work because you love what you're doing, I think I'm in a good position to share about that and might be as well inspire you of being passionate about that. And the last point is experience. I am for 20 years in the business, in compliance, in senior roles, in nearly all important financial hubs in the world, but as well covering all kind of classical topics from PEPs over investigations to the hot topics like AI, digital transformation, cryptocurrency, blockchain, and name it. And don't forget, I'm very much as well a key focusing on the human touch of compliance. So therefore, I would like to share that experience and expertise with you. So what can you expect from this channel and what is not expected? Let's first of all start with what you will get. Number one is fact and research. You will always see I try to underpin whatever I state with researchers. And that can be compliance-driven researchers, but as well, very often as well, researchers related to emotional intelligence, leadership, etc. So I think that's good. So something to be based on. Two is adopted content, meaning I think my subscribers are a large group of people from beginners, experts, people who are just interested, who just know me and wanted to know what I'm doing here. And therefore, I think I try to cover in my topics that to a large extent that everybody finds a little bit for itself, for your valuable time that you spend with me, that you get a little bit out of that. So that's number 2. Number 3 is, of course, expertise in terms of my knowledge, what I did beforehand, and as well of the network that I know. I think I can make that as well to a benefit for this channel. We will see coming up interviews with those experts. So I think we have already one prepared. The others are coming. So stay tuned on that channel not to miss that. And last but not least, we will do as well certain kind of tool presentations. We all as compliance officers know that there is a lot of elements out there, especially in the AI world. And the question is always how to get the information, whether this is really adaptive and adapted to what I need, or whether I should really have a more in-depth view of if this is a tool that is really helping me in whatever I need. So I will give you advice and support as well on this element. The last part is the human touch in compliance, or the emotional intelligence. And we are covering A to Z, meaning leadership skills, governance, how compliance is organized, how to recruit compliance leaders and talents, whether these are really in leading, managing positions or as subject matter experts, how to deal with crisis on the team, but as well on a bank level whenever something is happening, and how to promote your people and providing training to them to get them up to the next level. So all that what falls in this human area of compliance, we will talk as well upon in this kind of channel. Now let's talk about the EVE, or the EE factor as they call it. What do I mean by that? It means education versus entertainment. That's it. What's hidden behind that? Now the secret's out. Why is that so interesting? Because there is even an Oxford Handbook of Entertainment Theory, which was published several years ago, which was clearly defining that the education entertainment based approach is impacting social behaviors. And I think that is really interesting to see. And if we look on the development of broadcasting systems, in particular with the arrival of internet and mobile revolutions that made suddenly content in a video as well in audio form available all over the world, which was not the case already with TV, then we can estimate in terms of what the impact is. Is it a new theory? It's not, because already in 1969, a Peruvian telenovela, Simply Mary, which was tracing a little bit the world of girls leaving a local area and becoming maids in a city, kind of a modern fairy tale of transformation, had already created a huge impact at that time. The World Bank, for instance, in 2016 created a whole committee basically consisting out of researchers, media communicators, government, educational parts, etc., to talk about of how can we foster that educational entertainment approach to reach out to people that until that time hadn't had the chance to get this kind of information and the having access to this information. So that was a huge step towards. Why I'm bringing that here up? Because my content as well is based on education and entertainment, the so-called education or edutainment as they call it. And why is it like that? Because I try to find out a balance between giving you insights in real interesting stuff. But I can tell you, when you prepare for these kind of videos, you come across a lot of documentation and very interesting stuff, which is, let me say, a side flower on the way, not really the way that you're walking on. So I try to make it happen and share that with you. What I find out, I think it's strengthening what we do, and it gives you a nice insight of whatever you have come here across. That was the episode 8 of the Compliance Coach, when we talked about why to create a YouTube channel and entertainment versus education. I hope you liked it. Thank you for your valuable time again. I hope to see you very soon on this channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Ask me questions, whatever you would like to see on this channel. I'm more than happy to share that again, and wishing you all the best. thinking and impacting compliance differently.